afternoon, everybody. I'm so excited to have you here again, right? Day 2 days in a row.
I'm excited to be here.
Right? Okay. I mean, you can feel the excitement, right? Robin is set. We have the infamous Robin Glenn here. Just to remind you guys, my name is Sheley Brien. I'm founder and co-host here at ReinerStop, and this is one of our weekly TV episodes where our goal is to educate and entertain and really approach topics differently within the industry. And you know, my co-host here and partner in crime, Chelsea, we strive to bring relevant and timely topics with a goal of increasing transparency as well as integrity within the industry. And today is one of those days. Hopefully you guys tuned in yesterday. Our topic was hot. You guys were awesome as far as comments and interaction. And we've even seen some great comments continuing on today from yesterday. But I'm going to tell you guys, those of you that are in the breeding game and or want to learn more about the breeding game and want to use tools and data. You hear Chelsea and I talk about this a lot. There are tools and data out there to help increase your odds for success. Why not use them? And what we're here to do today is help share how to use them with you. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to my co-host Chelsea, and she's going to introduce our special guest.
Thanks so much, Sheley. Robin, I'm so glad to have you here with us. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So you guys, this is part 2 of this series with the very, very famous Robin Glenn. Robin has really pioneered the way for equine marketing and sales over the last 40 years. I know that I've heard about her long before I knew her, and I'm realizing that what I knew about her was just skimming the surface. Robin, as she said it, was born loving horses, and particularly the quarter horse breed. And what started for her back in officially in 1983 truly started in the 70s when Robin was in college working for the Outfront Sale Company, which really paved the way for where she is now. Robin and her team are responsible for catalogs that you all know and trust, like the NRHA sale, the NRCHA, barrels, racing, some racing catalogs, so many more. And what has now come to be known as the AQHA Q data and Qstallions is what started as Robin Glenn pedigrees. AQHA bought what was Robin Glenn pedigrees back in 2014. It's gone under a rebrand, in our part 1 series, which happened, it's almost been a month ago now. We did it right in the middle of the World Show back in November. We talked a lot about Q data, and we'll start there a little bit today. And we're now going to transition into talking about Qstallions, the relationship behind those two systems, and particularly how you guys can use those two systems to take, you know, what you're doing with your breeding and your performance program at home and take it to the next level. So again, I know I'm just skimming the surface, but Robin, I am so glad to have you here with us for round number 2.
Well, thank you. And I'm really glad to be here. I appreciate what you all are doing for the industry so much. Anytime you give people knowledge, and especially newcomers to the industry, you give them confidence, and the confidence encourages them to participate and remain participants. So I think you're doing a great service to the industry. I really do.
We're taking a page out of your book because you were doing it long before we were. Before we get started, I just have a few quick stats that I want to share with everyone, and then we'll jump right in. For those of you that maybe have casually used these systems, or maybe if you haven't used these systems, these are not small systems. What now has $2.1 billion in earnings records is what we're going to be talking about today. It also tracks AQHA points and awards, and it's a platform that can serve the breeder, the exhibitor, the buyer, the seller. There are many people that I know are tuning in today that are going to get a ton out of this. Before we jump right in with my first question, Robin, for those of you guys tuning in, thank you so much. I see your comments starting to come through. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Drop in the comments and let us know. And let's dive in first. Robin, can you give us a brief overview of Q data and Qstallions? What are they? What are the differences?
Yes, sure can. And by the way, I apologize for the headset, y'all, that I am just a desktop kind of gal. And I tried to set my laptop up, but I didn't feel like I'd be as fluent on it. So you just have to view me in the headset tonight.
It's perfect.
Q
It makes you
data,
more professional, right?
pardon me?
It makes you even more professional, Robin. You're the real deal.
Yeah, I would say that's true. Thank you. Q data is what used to be Robin Glen Pedigrees. It's the catalog company. I think everyone knows we do catalogs. That's common knowledge. I think a lot of people didn't know that we have the online database, and we have actually a self-serve catalog service company that allows you to do your own catalog, and that we do private, what we call the private use pedigrees, stallion stat pages, and just a normal pedigree on a horse. We have a catalog app that not only our catalogs go on, but also all the catalog builder catalogs. And then one of my dreams, something I dreamed of forever, and that's Qstallions. Now, all this is owned by the American Quarter Horse Association. When AQHA bought Robin Glen Pedigrees, we had the online database. We did not have AQHA points and awards on it because we didn't have an API to AQHA database. So we only had our data online. And we had the sale catalogs and the results report in the foal tracker. Since AQHA bought the company, they have made it possible to produce some really wonderful services that can't be duplicated anywhere, because this team of AQHA and QData are the only resources that can be pulled to do it. We have developed the catalog builder, and Qstallions is our two biggest things. So one thing I'd like to point out tonight, you asked for the difference between QData and Qstallions. If there really is no difference, Qstallions runs on QData. Qstallions reports and information come from QData and AQHA. So, and it was developed by the QData team. I think it's been about 3 years now. One thing I wanted to bring up before we get into all this, we have a service called I'm going to share my screen real quick. Are you okay with
Absolutely.
that, Chelsea?
Yep, go for it.
Okay. We have a weekly results report called the results report, and it covers reining, cutting, rein cow horse, roping, ranch horse, and penning and sorting. Can y'all see my screen?
You said that was a weekly report that comes out?
That comes out every Wednesday. It comes out every Wednesday, and when it's sent, the foal tracker, which I showed everyone last time we talked, also runs at the same time. So this results report, I believe this week's is live. Yep, there it is. Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay. So this week's, look what it has on it. The top 5 sires of the NRHA futurity. And we got the scoop on that, y'all, because as soon as we put that in the database, Laura Woolley, our database manager, generates those top 5 leaning sires. So that is in this week's results report, which was posted about an hour ago, I think.
How exciting. And I got to tell you, I mean, those of you that are tuning in right now, you see those top 5 sires, right? Gunatrasha, we knew there was 18 in the finals. They had 18%. Now, how many of you guys watching have a foal by one of these top 5? Give us a thumbs up, because you got a good one here based upon data.
I'm going to read them out loud just for those that might not be, they might be audibly listening, but aren't reading it. So in order, Gunatrasha came in at 778,000. Inferno 66, 257,000. Spooks Got a Whiz at 171. Magnum Chick Dream came in fourth at 168,000, and Shiner's Voodoo Doctor at 165,000. So those are your top five. That's amazing, Robin.
Yeah, I love this. And we'll have next week, we'll have the top five NCHA futurity, the cutting horse futurity leading sires in the results report. And the results report is free. So you can just go to the website and sign up, and you'll get an email every week when it's posted. It always has tons of reining in it. It usually has more reining than any other event. We record every reining class in our database, and the NRHA has been a great partner to QData and to AQHA. So you can see here, not just the NRHA futurity, but a lot of reinings are, including foreign reinings, are in the results report this week. And the report shows the horse is sire, dam, sire, owner, rider, score, and money earned on every horse. And it covers limited age events. Like, you won't see the weekend classes in here. It'll be the bigger shows. So if I don't know what we have for cut. It doesn't look like we have much for cutting because the futurity's going on. Sure. So there aren't any other cuttings right now, but there are some ranch horse results in here this week.
What an amazing, you said completely free. So if you guys create an account, I mean, for anyone, not only in the reining, but I would say in the working Western world that is at all playing in the breeding, owning, foals, anything game, what an invaluable resource to get to your email every single week. I love it.
I have to tell you, I got a lot of my ideas from the racehorse business, and this idea came from Ben Hudson's Track Magazine Monday report. Then his comes out every Monday, and it's all the stakes races that week. So, and it was actually Ben who encouraged me to do this results report.
That's so great, though. I mean, and when you think about the racing industry in whole, I mean, Chelsea, you and I, we did after the Kentucky Derby. Remember that episode that we did, what we could learn from the Kentucky Derby? Look at Robin, you're doing the same thing, right? What can we learn from racehorsing with their huge purses, huge spectator crowds, unparalleled sponsorships and opportunities?
Yeah.
You're doing the same thing, Robin. I mean,
yeah, I have Qstallions. I'll tell you about that when we get to that too. That idea came from the racehorse business too. So, and this stallion registers, the first stallion register was the blood horse stallion register and the thoroughbred time stallion register. So they were ahead of us on all that, simply, I think, because the thoroughbred racehorse business has been an industry for many more years than the AQHA racing.
Yeah, sure. Makes sense.
Okay, so why don't we touch back? I know I walked everyone through the online reports last time, but I would like to, are you seeing me change my screen okay, Sheley?
Yep,
okay.
Yes, we are.
Okay, so I want to touch back on these records, and I'm not going to walk you through them again, but I want to kind of guide everybody into Qstallions. And Qstallions is really a combination of all our other services rolled into a feature on individual stallions. So on this online selection, we have, of course, a performance report, dams produce report. We have several selections of dam reports. We have a top 10 sire report. Now remember, this includes all AQHA wait a minute, I'm on the wrong one. Top 10 performers plus top 10 racing money earners. That's for the barrel horse people, so that they want to see how the racing side of the sire did too. And then we have the nicking report, and we have several nicking reports, but the nicking report that you'll see on Qstallions is the nicking by sire. And I really love the nicking report. Nicking is an old thoroughbred word, and it doesn't mean just that a cross was happened well once, it was successful once, it means that that cross is routinely successful. So back in the day before computers, when I first got into the business, which was the late 70s, people would pay someone to nick their mares, and that person who was nicking their mares would go through all these past performances and chart books and everything and figure out these crosses by hand, you know, probably on a yellow tablet. I know that's what I used back then. And document the best crosses for this on the sire of someone's mare. So that's what a nick is. A nick is a consistently good cross, not just a once in a life or one-time cross. So on this nicking report, whoops, I'm ordering it instead of clicking on the sample. On this nicking report, this is by sire. So this is going to show you how, for instance, Shiner's Voodoo Doctor, and this is pre-futurity, so he's even got more money now, but how he crossed on other maternal grandsires. And of course, Wimpy's Little Step is his best cross. And not only his best cross by dollars, but you can see the most money earner. Those performers are money earners in our database. So he by far has the most money earners. Yeah. Now, when you go to nicking by dam sire, I just love these nicking reports because they can really tell you a lot.
I mean, this was something I know on part one, Robin, that was incredibly, I mean, I gotta say surprising for me, because I didn't know that this was available, right? And it's like, you look at your mare and you're like, okay, here's some of the things that maybe she's weak in, here's where she's strong. What does the stallion look like that can cross with that? And it's kind of theoretical, right? I mean, there is training and you can talk to the trainers and be like, okay, what cross do you like with what as far as mind and soundness and all of that? But it is nice and amazing to have this actual data that says, okay, if you cross this with this, here's the success rate that it's done in the past. And right. I just think that breeders,
and you can study this, and then we have the records to allow you to go deeper, you know, to take the information on this nicking report and go run records that get you down into the detail of these crosses. And here's an example of this. Let's say you find a sire that you're interested in. Let's say it's nick it in the bud. Okay, you can go to the nicking detail report and you can enter your broodmare sire, and it will cross him as the sire, and it will give you the results of that cross. So in this particular case, this is dual ray crossed on daughters of Smart Chickalina, Smart Chickalina. And so you can see, then that allows you to see, okay, was all that money one good cross, or was it a lot of consistently good horses? And what did they show in? Were they in rein cow horse? Were they in reining? Were they in cutting? Or is this a sire is this a cross that produces really an all-arounder who can compete in all those events successfully? And that has become more and more popular, you know, for a horse who can go do it all and can go do the ranch horse too, and allow people to really have fun, you know, with their horses.
Absolutely.
So I just think the nicking reports are some of the most valuable reports we offer. Now, did you have any more questions about that, about nicking reports? Or
and everyone, you know, that's joining us right now, Robin's asking that question not just to Chelsea and I, but to you guys. Is there anything on here? You know, part of this live demonstration is interaction, and I see Patty, you know, commented that is great information to be able to access. That's one thing that's so great, is that these tools are not just for the professionals, right? These tools are made available by AQHA to anyone. So it's
Yeah.
not, exclusive, it's inclusive. And so if you guys have any questions as we're going along today, or would like, Robin to touch on one more thing or do another demo, jump in. That's what we're here for today.
When you're going to, and I've owned horses, we've had lots of horses. And my boys showed, we've raised some nice horses. We had race horses early on. And knowledge is everything. You really don't do this stuff without studying your lesson. I mean, it's just when you can go on this website and spend maybe $30 and you can get a wealth of information that will make you thousands in a transaction, or save you thousands, or keep you from buying the wrong horse, or send you to buy the right horse. So why go do it without doing your homework first?
And
I mean, when people.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, people wouldn't buy a house without getting on realtor.com and going through the houses and looking at all the pictures and looking at the past appraisals and all the things that you can know about a house. Yeah. And asking some questions about, how old is the air conditioning system? But then they'll walk onto somebody's farm and just buy a horse without researching it, and that doesn't have to happen. I mean, the tools are right here to empower everyone and to be a professional.
And really quite affordable. Isn't the nicking report, isn't it $15?
Yeah, it's not even 15. It is $8.
$8 to get this report. That's invaluable information, even in the research process, right? In the studying process. I'm seeing a few comments come in and they're obviously seeing the same value. Find a good cross for my gunner mare. So this would be hugely helpful. Here's a question that came in about the nicking report. Is the data like the nicking report based on earnings? If so, what reports would be best for horses in a discipline where more points are earned than dollars?
We have been wanting to add points to the nicking report, and we just have so many programming projects on the table right now that hasn't gotten done. But I hope to add, I agree, my son started out showing all arounders and the points were everything, that was what we cared about. And he showed rope horses in AQHA competition down later on, and same deal. So I would like to add the points and awards to the nicking reports, but right now it's just money.
And time, right? Money and time.
Yeah.
Perfect. I think that's, we can keep rolling, Robin.
Okay. So I want to walk y'all briefly through now I could spend 45 minutes doing it, but I'm going to briefly give you an overview of the catalog builder. And the reason is I'm going to show you Qstallions here in a few minutes. And I want you to see how Qstallions combines all the services we had already designed at the time we built it. So the catalog builder, I think everyone knows that Robin Glenn does sell catalogs, and it's not, believe me, it is not just Robin Glenn. And particularly, I have a lady here named Sue Treese, who is literally the left side of my brain. But we do sell catalogs. Our schedule is full. Just about everyone else who does them, and there are very few, is covered up too. And we're all aging, and there really aren't too many young people wanting to come in the business to sit at a desk and never go anywhere because you always have a catalog deadline. So we designed the catalog builder. In the catalog builder, you talk about empowering people. And we have a number of customers using it and rocking and rolling with it. Allows you to not just build a sale catalog, but manage an entire sale catalog yourself. Now, on the website, you can get to the catalog builder from the website, from robinglenn.com, but it's actually its own URL, which is catalogs.robinglenn.com. And this is a site that is functional. I mean, it's not a site you can go play on and look around like you can the robinglen.com site, but it actually does a job for you. But this service it doesn't just build the pedigree. It does build pedigrees, and it builds all different kinds of pedigrees. So you can do a paragraph style. Now this is kind of what everybody used to do before I developed the black type pedigree in the 80s, with a paragraph on the horse, paragraph on the sire, and a paragraph on the dam. It does a ranch pedigree, which is one paragraph on the horse that talks about the horse's family. And you'll see that anytime the subject horse has a performance record or a produce record or a get record, that the catalog builder is going to put it on the page regardless. Then we have the cheapest pedigree it's only $25. It's the basic, and it's just a family tree and footnotes. But again, if the horse has performance on AQHA or the QData database, that will come onto the page. And then finally, the black type. Now you talk about a labor of love. Trying to put our brains on these pedigrees that we had handwritten for all these years into a computer program has not been easy, but you can see it does a pretty job. And but I think one of the misconceptions on the catalog builder is that it does pedigrees. Okay, it does pedigrees. No, it doesn't just do pedigrees. It manages the catalog from top to bottom. It manages photos. You can upload photos, and sorry, I didn't silence my phone. You can upload photos, and it will automatically convert the photo into a web ready photo and a print ready photo if the photo is high enough resolution to be printed. And it will, I'm trying to figure out where I'm going here. It gives you an instant internet sale preview. There it is. As soon as you enter the horse, you have an internet sale preview. Here's the horses, and these are just examples horses, but here's the horse's catalog page from the internet sale preview. There's this photo. You can choose, it does all the indexes. Now, you can choose a layout. You can choose all different kinds of catalog layouts, and some of them you can put a picture on the page, and some of them you can't. If you want to put a picture on a page, you just choose one of the layouts choices that allows you to put a photo on the page, and it will do it all for you. I mean, you just open that layout and there's your sale. You don't have to do anything. There's your sale. It's there. The photos are on there, and it's ready to go. If you don't want to put photos on your page, it makes a caption photo gallery. I'm trying to get that to come up.
Hey, Robin, who would this be best for, the catalog?
This is for anybody. There's a photo gallery. My internet's slow tonight. See how it automatically hip numbers and captions the photos, and it puts them in hip number order.
Yeah.
And then this is your photo gallery that you can put in the middle of your catalog. So that's just a brief overview. I don't want to get into the weeds on this, but who uses it? We have a number of sale companies using it. And what I love about it is we have sale companies using it now. Either the sale company didn't exist, but they saw the opportunity, or some of them are sale companies who never did a catalog, and then they saw, because they didn't feel like they could afford to pay somebody to, and then they saw the opportunity, and every one of them are repeat customers. I mean, no one ever uses it and never comes back, because whenever you have a full pedigree on a, and what that horse accomplished and produced shows up on a catalog page, your horses sell better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just, fact. And so I feel like it's done a great service to the industry.
I think absolutely anyone that has a sale, I mean, this is kind of like the bare minimum, right? I mean, now you have the photo and you have everything else and all the different types of catalogs that you can create. I mean, everyone that's on with us, I mean, what are your thoughts about even using this? Like, let's say you have a field of yearlings that you need to sell. Right.
And that, one of the projects, Sheley, that I have on my list, and as you all know, programming goes slowly and it's expensive, but is what I call a farm showcase. And eventually we'll do this where you can know hip numbers. You just use this as your farm. You just link it to your website, and the pedigrees can update monthly. And you just pay a monthly subscription to keep your mares. What I always tell people is put your mares on your website, put your studs on your website, because your babies are going to change, That's a lot to manage. But if you have their mothers and their fathers on your website, then when you want to hand somebody a pedigree, you just hand them a pedigree on the sire and a pedigree on the dam, and they got all the information they need. And that is easier to keep organized on a website than keeping the actual foals. You can keep a listing of your foals, but for the pedigrees, I would recommend keeping the sire in the dam. So right now we do have people who you can choose an option in the catalog builder to not use hip numbers and not use consigners, and you can just make basically a catalog of all your horses.
I mean, I think that alone there, is such a valuable tool, because let's say you're a trainer of any discipline and you have 5 head for sale in the barn, right? And we saw this, everyone online at the futurity, right? Various trainers would be like, in search of this, right? If you already had your catalog page on all your sale horses that you go to the futurity or the derby or the high roller or whatever big show, you can literally answer the call right there, right? Like, let me shoot you a DM and let me shoot you a DM. You can literally have these reports ready to go, and you can either text them, email them out. I mean, that is, I think what you're talking about in the future is incredibly valuable, but we can even do it now. People can do it now.
Yeah, you can actually make a catalog right now that's like in alphabetical order.
Yeah.
With no hip numbers, and it's not completely set up for that, but it can be done. It is actually designed to be a sale. For one thing, you can't send it to the app without hip numbers. Now we are updating our app, and once we update it, we'll be able to accommodate a farm showcase on the app. But I did have one of our very first users of the catalog builder generated pedigrees on all the yearlings she had for sale, and she made this, just went to like a quick print, FedEx or something, and printed this little book, and she took these books to the Tulsa Reining Classic and handed them out, and she sold every single horse.
Smart.
And it was all done by herself. She didn't have to wait in line here, she didn't have to get behind everybody else in line here to get it done. And so it's a really, really nice deal. I'm really proud of this, because there were a couple times when we were doing this, when I would say to Steve Maddox, our programmer, Steve, I don't think this can be done. Well, I mean, when we're talking about the big picture, I don't think this can be done. And he says, it can be done. Just break it down into its parts. We can do it. But it has been hard. But Sue Trees, who's been with me 27 years, she has written most of the pedigree writing rules. There are more than 2,500 rules in this program just on how that pedigree is going to set up. When this sire and this dam come together, how is it going to set up? What's the most important thing? Because we really tried to make this program Now, it's a computer program. It's not our brain, so it's never going to pick through one like we do. But we really tried to make this program think like we do. What is most important? What is the most important horse on this page? And what is the most important event that that horse did? You know, and start listing it in order. So I'm really proud of it. It's kind of always a work in progress, because as new events happen, as rules change, even as different crosses happen, as you all probably know, when you write a program to do something, I don't care whether it's tapping on your phone or clicking on your mouse, when you tap, code has been written to do something when you tap. And if you haven't anticipated something happening on this computer program and code hasn't been written to accommodate that, that's when you get computer glitches. So I think it will always require a little bit of tweaking, just because the horse business is so dynamic. You know, it's always changing.
And a few things, I have a question for you quickly. This is just satisfying the nerd in me. You mentioned there were 2,500 rules. About how long, just estimate, how long has this concept been in progress? Like, when did you dream this up to when it came to fruition?
Well, I dreamed it up probably, I don't know, 20 years ago. This is something else that was not possible, period, without AQHA. Without the cooperation of AQHA, and without us having full access to the database, which we do since AQHA owns it. We have our own API, our own version of the database, and that runs all these services. But I kept having this. Well, the busier I got, I mean, there was a time when I had 9 employees. I have about 750 square feet in offices, and I had 9 employees, and we were selling 15,000 head a year. And I mean, it was killing us all. And I couldn't find the help. I couldn't find the right help, you know, to that many people, you know, who would be as worried about details as you have to be in this business. And I probably started thinking then about how can we automate this? Because as soon as I saw what computers could do, I owned a computer and I hired a programmer. And I just kept going from there. But I wanted to do this for the industry, because we have become, and I don't mean to be tooting our own horn, but we have become, and even our customers, the other catalog writers who buy their data from us, we have all become so key to the success of the sale business. And the sale business, whether anybody thinks it or not, drives the entire industry. I mean, it sets stud fees, it sets prices, it determines who's going to be the most popular stud, more than the futurity winners do, really. When I can't tell you how many customers I've had who said, you know, I saw that highbrow cat bring 150,000 at the NCHA futurity sale, and I thought, man, I need in this business. I mean, the sale business is really, really important. And like I said, there aren't that many people who want to do this, because most people who love horses enough to want to do this for a living, to have the knowledge that it requires, also want to be out in the middle of the horse business, and you can't do both. You may notice you don't see me very often because I'm behind this computer. Yeah. So I wanted to give the industry, I wanted to give longevity to what we do, and security to the sale companies who have put their faith in us all these years.
And I think it goes hand in hand. You know, the quality of what you're doing on this side, and now so many sales are requiring x-rays and vet checks, all happening before, and that's really elevating the integrity of a sale. You know, before,
absolutely,
I think kind of in the day, it's like this stigma of like, oh, a horse in the sale, like it's in the sale, like, ooh, like why?
That's a used to be thing.
And now they're like the top quality. I literally just read that you know, there was a mare that just sold at the NCHA final for 325,000.
Yeah. Oh, they sold one for 600,000 the other night. You
I mean,
know,
it's like,
I don't know if it was a mare, but they sold a horse for 600,000. And see, and you're absolutely right, Sheley. When I got into the sale business, it was considered a dirty business.
Yep.
And it kind of was a dirty business because there was no real research being done other than the family tree, which we had to look up one name at a time in stud book, in the big green stud books. The rest of it was whatever the guy said about the horse. Well, okay.
Yeah.
And so I remember, you know, I was working in the sale office at the out front sale, and this lady came in and was just throwing her purse on the table and mad because she found out that what was in the catalog wasn't true about the horse she had bought, and telling the sale company that she wanted her money back. And I remember thinking then, because I had just barely gotten into the pedigree thing, I remember thinking then, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make these books, and I'm going to make sure everybody can trust it. That if I put that page in that book, I made sure it was true. And fortunately, AQHA came out with records not long after that. So we actually had records to verify some of the things, and I could actually tell a consignor, I'm sorry, I can't put this on the page because there's no record supporting it. And that has been our motto ever since, you know, for 40 years. We're not going to put it on the page because we can't find it recorded anywhere.
Yeah.
And that,
like,
and like, as you say, that has given the sale company so much credibility. But it's not just what we do, it's the records that all the associations have made available.
True.
You know?
Definitely a team effort.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. They all took it seriously. And then also it was funny back in the 80s, like in the cow horse business, especially, there were a lot of nicknames and in the reining, but the NRHA had them cross-referenced. We couldn't get people to take that seriously. Use the registered name because your horse is getting lost. Well, then when we started doing these catalogs, and I did the first NRHA sale for Gordon Hannigan, people were like, oh my gosh, now we see what she's saying. And then they would call me and say, hey, you know that horse, I wanted to make sure you knew my horse's real name for your database.
Yeah.
And we always showed him under Champ, but his real name is this and this, you know. And so it's kind of evolved, you know.
Yeah.
It's evolved over the years, and it's evolved into a really good thing.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, this was a 2-part series, guys. So everyone that is on watching, we do have part 1, and Chelsea, we'll throw a link in this comments to part 1 too, so that you guys can absolutely go back and click on there. But, you know, now that we've covered nicking and the catalogs, I do want to put it back out to our audience right now and see if there's any questions about, you know, it doesn't have to be just about nicking or just about the catalogs, but it could be Q data, Qstallions, AQHA. How do we use this? Who do I use it for? Let us know in those questions right now, just because I know we're kind of at that 45-minute mark. We don't want to miss any questions or your opportunity. You guys, this is your opportunity to have firsthand access to, an expert upon experts of creating all of this information. And so, all right. I did see that, Chelsea. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention this live, and so that Robin heard it as well. Robin, I know you're going to show us a little bit around Qstallions here in a moment.
That's next.
And I'll let you, if you want to start to transfer over there, you can. But I want to mention this because this is part of what I love about the ReinerStop Nation and our community, and what you have brought to, the AQHA and the horse community at large. So we, of course, had our first session with Robin a little over a month ago. 2 weeks ago, Sheley and I did, we try and do like a monthly kind of industry happenings talk where we just hit some headlines of what's going on. And in that talk, we, of course, mentioned this upcoming session. And one of our ReinerStop Nation members, Jessica, mentioned a comment in there like, hey, I would love to hear about you know, if I have, she asked a question, you answered it by explaining the way the nicking report works. And so we actually had it on our list of questions to go over today, and you naturally answered it through the nicking report explanation. So Robin, I appreciate that, but I also wanted you to know that the industry has been listening, and you are
That's
doing
great.
Yeah.
Well, and I really do want to cover Qstallions, and I don't want to drag people out for hours here. So I probably need to move on to Qstallions. I've had two huge dreams all my life, all my adult life. One was the catalog builder, and the other was Qstallions. And I am so grateful to AQHA, because I just basically said, we need to do this. And they said, okay, do it. I mean, of course they asked some questions and we did some budgeting and things, but I mean, imagine that. You couldn't have told me 30 years ago that AQHA would say, hey, if you think the industry needs it, let's do it. But they do. That's what AQHA is here for. And so Qstallions, what used to frustrate me when I had mares, and we also managed a lot of brood mares for other people. We foaled them out. We kept them here. We hauled them to the farm for them. We had one guy who brought a semi-load down from Wyoming every year, and we kept them all year and bred them and hauled them to the farms. I would get so frustrated at the stallion registers. I loved the stallion registers. They're way out of date by the time they're printed. The data is old by the time they even come off the press, let alone when they get in your hands, and then a month late after that. So I always dreamed, after I saw the internet, of doing something that was always updated, up to date online. And that's what Qstallions is. So Qstallions gives you a lot of information. I'm going to walk you through it. I'm not going to walk you through every detail because it's kind of self-explanatory, but gives you a ton of information that is updated every week. So last night, Laura got the last of the NRHA futurities into the database, and Marilyn got a bunch of the weekend's barrel races in. And starting tonight, Qstallions records and catalog pages will start updating with all that new information, and they do that every single week. So that when you look at it, at the very most, the data is a week old. Now that's pretty remarkable.
It's incredible.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So let's just look right here at the home page real quick. Now these sliders, you can see here, I swap them out. Anybody who ever thinks why didn't my stallion be on there? The picture has to be large enough, and it has to be a horizontal picture. So if you get them omitted, there may be a reason for it, but I swap them out about once a month. So one of the things I like now, you can click on all stallions, and that gives you every stallion. Performance is racing, cutting, and rein cow horse, pleasure and hunt seat, halter, then speedy bench. You'll see that Pink Buckle has its own menu item. That is because they put 50 stallions on Qstallions. So if a program wants to put 50 stallions on Qstallions, they'll get some extra perks, one of them being their own menu item. Another thing being that each stallion has their logo on his Qstallions page. And then there are some other promotion that the program gets because of having 50 stallions on Qstallions. One of the things I love about Qstallions is the Stallion Locator. This is something I also always dreamed of when we were running up and down the road. I wish I knew what stallions were in the area that I'm driving in so I could go look at them. And there really was never a way to know that, but can you guys see the little red pins?
Yes, this is awesome.
Isn't that cool? So when you roll over it, like there's the 4 6s, it gives you what ranch it is and the stallion standing there.
How great.
Isn't that neat? So, and that is on the main menu on the left side. If you're interested in putting a stallion on, you can go to promote your stallion. And by the way, for a whole year of being updated every week. That's over $5,000 worth of records, by the way, a year. It's only 1,500, right around 1,500, which is about the price of a full page ad one time in the Premier magazines. So I think it's a bargain. If you have a junior stallion, it's quite a bit less, and a junior stallion is considered as a horse whose foals are 4 or under.
And I mean, that price point also, like when you think about breeding fees, 1 or 2 breedings covers that. No problem.
Yeah.
You know, that's, yeah.
It's such a bargain. And to me, it's a bargain when you think about how much magazine advertising costs, and even web advertising these days is expensive.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to take you to a stallion. I'm going to use Bet He's a Cat. And the reason I'm going to use Bet He's a Cat, he stands at 4 6s, is that he's kind of an all-around sale. So he shows off my pie chart well. So you see the normal stuff. You've seen this online on other studs, where he stands, how much, how to get in touch. One of the things I like here is they can put almost unlimited photos. I mean, it's up to the stallion owner how many photos they want to put on, but there can be a lot of photos. Also, see the view on map where I've got the cursor? You click on that and it shows you exactly where that horse is located. I love that. I love this map thing because when we used to go up and down the road, I'd always be going, I know that so-and-so is somewhere around here. I wish I knew where they were, you know, where I'd love to go see their studs. And never did quite. I always had a dream of doing something like that with the map thing in a database, but I never did get that done. Down here, you can click on, you don't even have to formulate an email. You just click on breeding inquiries, fill it out, and submit it. And when you submit it, it goes to the stallion farm if you're interested in breeding to a horse or if you have questions about a horse. It gives you details on the information, and that the 5-panel NN, that comes from the AQHA database. Now, if it's up in the notes, that 6th panel, you know, which is, I forget which one it is, but
The IMM.
Yeah, IMM. Mm-hmm. That's the 6th, and it's not an official AQHA test yet, so if they're IMM negative, then that goes up in the notes. But the 5-panel MM came straight from AQHA, so you can consider it official. And then there are nominations. Now, remember the catalog builder? Okay, it built this page. And so every stallion, I love this about Qstallions, at every stallion on there, you get a catalog style pedigree of his family. And, you know, how he's bred is a big deal. The bottom side of a stallion is the most important side, usually, as far as building a great sire. And, of course, this one came from one of the greatest bottom sides ever. In fact, Royal Blue Boon, we have a love-hate relationship with her because she's so big that sometimes our system locks up on her. She's huge, but she's the greatest. I can tell you that is the longest produce record in our database.
That's awesome.
So, and then you can also, a lot of them will have videos, and then there's one more link they'll have, which will be their foals. And I think that's a really great thing to offer for the junior stallions who maybe don't have much going on the record end of it yet. You can put all the pictures of their foals on that you want if you put a stallion on here. And, you know, those good babies, those will sell a stud right there. I mean, I've had it happen many times when I was managing ranch promotions. So then when you go down, you get a 5 generation family tree, of course, with colors. And then here's your nicking report. So this nicking report is specific to this stallion. So it's going to be on Bet He's a Cat. Now, if you have a junior stallion on here and he doesn't have any crosses to report, then it will will give the user a nicking report on his sire. So if it's a son of highbrow cat, it'll give you a highbrow cat nicking report. So that gives you an idea still of what crosses will work on this sire, you know, because you've got his sire's nicking report. And then nick your mare on this stallion, that is the nicking detail report that I just showed you again. And you enter the name of your mare's sire. And if there are any crosses in the database on that broodmare sire and bet he's a cat, you'll get a report. Now I wanted to show everybody, I ran a couple earlier, I wanted to show everybody, if there are no crosses, money earning crosses in the database, it'll say no performers found. Now, bet he's a cat happens to cross exceptionally well on dual pet. So you get this report with all of the performers that came from that cross. So if you had a daughter, a dual pep, you enter dual pep, and it's going to show you, oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a good cross on that he's a cat. Wow. So that's a really handy tool, and you'll only find it on Qstallions.
And tell me, just so this is my naivety, so please excuse me, Robin, because I'm not breeding myself at the moment. When we were talking about, for example, the price per stallion, you mentioned 1,500, give or take a year. Is that just for the Stallion Locator feature, or is that for this page as well?
The price of 1,500 a year? Mm-hmm. Oh no, that includes everything.
All the things.
All the records. And like I said, that's about $5,500 a year worth of records on an active horse by the time you update them every week.
Because if I'm understanding right, if I were to list my stallion here, that, for example, the Q data nicking report that's gonna automatically be there. So that if I'm marketing that stallion, they, you know, whoever I'm marketing it, I love it.
Everything on this page goes with that, in my opinion, small amount per year. Yeah. I mean, when you take that down to monthly advertising, which you have to do on a stallion if you're going to be successful, you've got to keep a stallion in front of people. And AQHA's marketing team, Patty Tyberg, who used to be with Quarter Horse News, and now is with AQHA, she is manning the marketing team, and they are marketing the heck out of Qstallions. So it is a great place to put a stud. He will be seen. Yeah. Patty's going to make sure he does. Now, when you go down here, this is fun. Remember I said, bet he's a cat makes my pie chart pretty.
Priorities, right? Priorities.
Yeah, I love those pretty pie charts.
Wow.
We love that pie chart. That was, I don't know, I think that might have been the programmer's idea, but it breaks it out really well visually, you know, as to where the horse, and in his case, now when you consider that ranch doesn't pay as much, you know, as cutting and rein cow horse, he's a fairly equal all around sire. You know, and that's what that pie chart shows you, is that he is an all around sire. So now we have, and we're not going to be too much longer on this, just so you know, because we're almost done. But the first record that you can get, and all these records are free, everything's free on here, is top 10 AQHA pointers. Now that someone earlier asked about points, that record is for that reason, because some of the horses on here are pleasure horses and halter horses. And so we did a top 10 AQHA point earners record to honor that kind of horse who shows primarily in AQHA. And you know, by doing the money earners, that is in no way a reflection on whether AQHA's points are important or not. It's just what we happen to have available, because that's what we kept all these years. AQHA kept their points. Now we're constantly working to integrate AQHA's points and awards into everything we do, because obviously that is very critical. I mean, you cannot qualify for the world by earning dollars. You have to earn AQHA points and points. Okay, the next record is a top 10 money earners report. Same thing I showed on the website. It also has the top 10 race money earners if he would happen to be a race-oriented sire, and that is because we have a lot of barrel horse stallions on this site. So there's your top 10 money earners report. And then the weekly progeny performance review. If you'll remember our last Facebook Live, we had the foal tracker. We went over the foal tracker. Well, that's what this is. It's the foal tracker. And so what I'm kind of illustrating is that we developed all these services and then we rolled them into Build Qstallions. One report on here that you will not find anywhere, including our website, except Qstallions, is the current year money earners. And so this report is limited to only foals shown this year. And that's a really nice report for people promoting a stallion. But it also allows you to see how, in the horse business, as you all know, yesterday is everything. What happened 10 years ago is really not that big a deal to people. They want the futurity Saturday. That's what they want to know, So that's where this top 10 point earner or top 10 money earner, current year money earners report comes in. It lets you see, is that stud, is it all over with, or is he still rocking and rolling? Well, you can see that he's a cat is still rocking and rolling. And I can tell you he is, because they're on our automatic pedigree update program, and he makes us earn our keep. Okay. And then you have just a sire summary. Then you go down here. This is something else you'll only find on Qstallions, our Sire Rankings. Now, this comes straight out of our database. It's current to the week, and it's updated every week, just like all the records. And you can see that that he's a cat is current year. He is 16th in cutting money earned, sires of cutting money earners. He's 5th in the Rein cow horse. All time, he's 11th. All time leading Rein cow horse sire. And this changes every week. Cowboy events, by the way, that's our own term. We didn't know what to call it, but that is roping, team pinning, sorting, those classes that don't fit into these other ones. And we just were like, what are we going to call this category? Well, they're all cowboys, so we'll just call them cowboy events.
It works.
And then you get a detailed performance record on the horse. And that is the same detail that you get on the performance record that if you go to the website and buy a performance record. It's not laid out exactly the same, but it's the same detail. So right now we have, you see how many studs we have on there. Almost 200 stallions on Qstallions.
Can you sort by the top, Robin? Could you go back?
Oh, yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, Sheley. Okay. Are you talking about the list?
Yeah, I was just looking at the list. Like, you could look by where they're standing, right? Like, you want to see who's at 4 6s, or you want to see who's at Cinder Lakes, or
right.
Equine, or whatever.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because I meant to show it. You can sort by sire. Maybe you only want to send a smart little Lena, or you can sort by color if you're a Palomino breeder. You can sort by where they stand, like you said, 4 6s. Yeah. You can sort by who owns them. You can even sort by state, which is nice because maybe you want to breed locally. Not everybody's doing the frozen semen thing. And some of them didn't want their address on, and I'm not sure what that's about, but that's what I was told on the missing states. Now, you can also sort by stud fee, which lets you pick stallions out of your budget. So we tried to think of everything, and I'll tell you something, we don't always think of everything. So anybody who has a good idea, we are always all ears. And well, all of us are. I mean, Patty's team, the marketing team kind of manages Qstallions. We manage the content. They manage the actual
Yeah.
sales and everything. And we're all ears. We want to know, I mean, we're here to make the industry good.
Yep.
You know, that's what AQHA does. And so we are always open to all thoughts and ideas. Now, I will say that when you're talking about computer programming, it's always easier said than done, always.
Yep.
You know, and it turns into a project that goes to a committee that goes, you know, it doesn't just happen, which is probably good, because when I owned the company, it did just happen, and I was continually mortgaging the outhouse to get all the electronic things I wanted done.
I can't even imagine, and the coding behind it. I mean, my brain does not function that way. So like, bless everybody that does, because for this, how you've been able to sort and create and have it produce reports and do everything, that is no small feat at all. I mean, that is huge. And the fact that, I mean, it's such a useful tool, I think, for stallion owners, for breeders, for researchers. That's what's nice about it. It's not like it's niche to, right, quarter horses, but it's not niche to people that are interested in learning more or using it as a tool to market a sale horse or a stallion or find that cross for.
Right. We've you know, what we've tried to do is really what we really want to do is promote ownership of quarter horses. And by the way, we do keep a lot of paint and even Appaloosa information in the database. We keep all the paint and app money earners. And then we keep any breed that officially crosses on to a quarter horse, that legally can cross onto a quarter horse, like the paints allow it, the APHA allows it, the APHC allows it, the half Arabs allow it, although we just keep a little half Arab Reining information. But so we keep their World Show top 10 and their High Point top 10 for the paints and apps. And then we also record all the double registered horses that we find. This is something where you kind of have to have pretty good ESP to figure out sometimes, because, you know, is it two embryos or is it the same horse? You can't believe it can be anything. It can be the same, it can be two different horses born on the same day with the same name, same sire and dam. And the guy just thought he was being funny, you know. He just was just named the same in the two different breeds, and we have to figure out if they're the same horse or not.
Well, I mean,
but people are getting kind of wise to that and being more careful.
Yeah. Well,
we cross-reference them. So, and the great now on the online system, you have to know what breed you're researching. But on the catalog builder, it's really nifty. Because if you put let's say you put a paint in that's double registered, we've got it cross-referenced in the database. The catalog builder is automatically going to find the quarter horse version of that horse, and everything defaults to the quarter horse. Even the paint shows will be on the quarter horse. And the catalog builder handles it and gets it on the page successfully. And that was quite a feat. That was quite a programming feat to do that.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But we want people to successfully and happily own quarter horses. And I think, you know, what some people may lose sometime is that most of the time, the bottom line is what that horse is worth. I mean, even when you have a youth, I remember when our son started college, we needed to sell his horses, some of his rope horses, to, you know, kind of gather some of our money back up and get him to college. And that happens to a lot of parents. Yeah. And so almost all the time, even when you don't think it's money, it does come down to money. So we like to help people be successful in owning them by making sure those horses, everything that horse did gets recorded, no matter how tiny of an accomplishment it seems to be. and that people can get to that information, because as you all well know, if you can't put it on paper, it basically didn't happen.
Yes, that's correct.
You can talk it all day, nobody cares.
Very true. Very true. Chelsea, I think we had a couple questions.
We do. So, okay, the first one coming in, Robin, they first thanked you for all of this amazing information. And the question's coming in from Todd. How would you use this information after the fact? For example, I have a 2020 foal from a junior stallion, but would love to gather some more information. What kind of reports would you point him to?
Well, a junior stallion, the first thing I would do is run a dam report on the junior stallion's dam, because that's going to give you his full brothers, if he has any, or what his brothers and sisters have done, basically. And then I would even go so far as to run the 3 dam 4 generation dams produce report, because again, as I said earlier, the bottom side of that stallion gives the stallion a lot of his strength. And then you can run, of course, the information on his sire. And when you're dealing with a junior stallion, that's about all you can do is research his family. But that family is what made that horse, and that family is what's giving that horse his future as a sire. So it's very important.
Yes.
Absolutely. And there is, I put the link in, but some of those reports that Robin's talking about, she actually showed us in the first talk, which is on our website now. So you can go back, Todd, if you weren't in that first chat, and see exactly how she pulled that. I loved the color coding that there were, especially when you're looking at those, first dam, second dam, and some of those kind of things. So I'm sure you'll find a lot of value in that, Todd. And if you've got a further question on that, let us know. Another question that came in, she said, sorry, late to the chat. What if I'm looking up a stallion that I don't see listed, for example, a vintage smoke?
If he's not on Qstallions, you mean?
Yep.
Unfortunately, you just have to go to the website, but you're not totally lost, because you can go to robinglenn.com and run the same records on the stallion that you get on Qstallions.
And if there is a vintage smoke, for example, I know has earning records. If there's something that someone knows has records, but it doesn't exist in the system, is that something they should report to you? Is there a
Absolutely.
reason?
Oh yeah. That's traumatic for us. They're supposed to be there. So if you ever think a record is missing or something is missing on a horse, it doesn't upset us for you to let us know. It makes us happy that we found out. Sometimes, a horse's name will get transposed in the show results. You just don't know. Lots of things can go wrong. Sometimes the show producer's system can glitch and horses just don't make it over to us. So we always want to know if you think something's wrong.
Well, and if you want to see a stallion on there and that stallion isn't participating with Qstallions yet, reach out to the owner and be like, hey, I really want to learn more about your stallion, and I'd love to use Qstallion reporting to do that. Have you thought about joining with your stallion? It's growing.
Sheley, and I have had so many people say, I wish every stud was on here so I could really do a good job. Why not give all these mare owners a chance to be really successful by giving them all that information?
Yeah, it helps everybody.
They're going to pick the right horse, and when they pick the right horse, that keeps them coming back, and they're going to spread their business all over. And it's nothing but good. It's nothing but good for the business.
And that's, Sheley, I'm glad you said that, because even in my mind, I was kind of blending Q data and Qstallions, right? Qstallions, not every stallion could be there. Whereas if it's got earning records, you're going to see it on Q data. So Jessica, that might also be a resource that you use, but absolutely mentioning to the stallion owner in terms of getting it on Qstallions, because that's such a great service to all of us. I think in the equine industry, to have that kind of information on the stallions that we're seeing out in the industry is phenomenal. Okay, I think those were the two big questions. One more question, Robin. And I'll open this up to the audience. Last chance to get your questions in, because I do want to honor Robin's time here. Robin, if somebody wants to reach out to you guys and your team, what is the best way for them to do that?
The best thing you can do is just go to the website and email.
Perfect.
We're always happy to work with everyone. I think almost anyone who's done business here will tell you that. And by the way, if you are seriously interested in the catalog builder and would like a personal walkthrough, a detailed walkthrough, we're happy to do that too.
That's such a generous offer. There's also a question that came in on our first talk that I'm just going to regurgitate because I thought it was a really valuable one. Someone had asked on the first talk, how they could get a custom pedigree created if they didn't necessarily want to list the horse as a for sale horse. And Robin showed us in the first talk how you could actually put an order in for a custom pedigree, which is on the QData website, which is robinglenpedigrees.com. That you can go and see that in our first talk, but I thought that she demoed that a little bit and showed where you can, it's just an order form you can fill out right online and then email over, and quite affordable as well, which I thought is a great service if you want that very kind of traditional looking page created, custom pedigree page, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you. Yeah, we get orders for those all the time. In fact, I think I did about a dozen stallion stat pages over the weekend.
Oh, wow.
That people had ordered. Yeah.
I love it. Okay. And then lastly, Robin, what is the best way if people want to stay up to speed with what's going on with QData and Qstallions? Is there a social media page? Probably get their email in the database. What's the best way for people to stay up to date?
There is a QData social media page, and AQHA will do news releases too when we launch a new product. Like right now we're updating our catalog app. I think it'll be a lot shinier when we're done because right now it's 7 years old. So, and of course we'll do a news release about that when it's done. And then also if you want to subscribe to the results report, now if it's reining, cutting, cow horse, roping, pinning, sorting, it's not particularly, doesn't have any pleasure or halter in it, not because we didn't want to, but because we can't get those results quickly enough to produce any kind of timely report. But a lot of times if we've got something going on, we'll put it in the results report too, which comes out every week.
Love it. And
we do have a QData Facebook page.
Perfect. So you guys heard it from the source. Grab QData on Facebook, Qstallions on Facebook. Both of those you're going to want to follow.
Oh, that's right. Qstallions Facebook page. Thank you, Chelsea.
Yep. Yep. I know I used that one for some research, so it's just fresh in my mind. Robin, anything that we didn't cover that you want to hit before we thank our audience?
No, I just want to thank everybody for listening. And I want to tell you something real quick. So I'm an old lady and these are young ladies. That I am so impressed with all the young women entrepreneurs in the horse business today. You know, when I started in the 80s, there weren't many of us. And man, you had to be tough. You had to be really tough, and you had to want to do it. And I just love, you know, women have so much to offer the industry, and I'm just seeing it everywhere. I mean, everywhere I turn, there are women, photographers, marketers, you guys doing this educational thing, which I think is a great service. And I just want to tip my hat to all of you because go for it. You can do it. Go, you're the power.
Thanks, Robin.
Thank you.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, you know, we're taking pages out of your book and many others that have come long before us. I'm so inspired every single day that I'm in the industry, and especially in what we're doing with ReinerStop. You know, I think that we have lots of work to do and there's lots of room for us to grow as an industry, but there are many, many greats that have come before us that have made the industry, you know, what it is today. And so you're absolutely one of them. So I would certainly thank you as well, Robin.
Well, I appreciate that. And we have done broken a lot of ground, but I love the fresh ideas that the young people are coming up with today. It's just really exciting to watch and really gratifying to watch.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well,
And you two are two of the most impressive, definitely.
well,
I'm
thank
so
you.
glad.
I
Yeah,
mean,
and-
that's like, wow, coming from you. Thank you. And Robin, I just got to acknowledge you. I mean, I know, we just recently met face to, I guess screen to screen, but I just like hearing your passion is what drives Chelsea and I, right? Like, because we have such a passion, but hearing your passion for the industry and what you've created from handwritten books down now into these amazing tools, partnering with AQHA. I mean, I just have to acknowledge you for all the work, the effort,
Thank
the
you.
passion, the time, the commitment that you have done for this. And we are absolutely honored to have you on today. And trust me, it will not be our last time.
Well, thank you. And while you're acknowledging, I tell you what, we all need to acknowledge AQHA because if they're the granddaddy of it, they're the data.
Yeah.
They're the first database. And we are so lucky to have the American Quarter Horse Association. When you look at the breeds that don't have something like the AQHA, and are they successful? No. Have you even know anything about them? No.
Yeah.
Everybody knows the quarter horse, so we're really lucky to have AQHA.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think in general, those organizations, I love that you mentioned NRHA earlier, it takes a lot of work from a lot of people at organizations like AQHA and NRHA and so many others.
Oh, yeah.
All doing their part for us all to grow the industry, inspire more people with horses, do better with our horses, all of those things. And I love being able to, I'm, as you mentioned before we got started, I just finished up with the NRHA Futurity and coming off of the World Show just before that there as an announcer. And it's so inspiring for me to see that even though I've been announcing for many years, every single event that I'm at, every single time I work with an association like the AQHA, we're all still pushing for better and for moving forward and for doing it in, new and better ways. So it's a great time to be in the horse industry.
Great time.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Well, thank you all so much for doing this. And
thank you for being thank you for being on with us. And I'll just speak to our audience a little bit. You guys, we are so excited to be bringing you guys some really exciting stuff in 2022. We are launching, it's already live actually on our website. We want to make these kind of talks like what we did today with Robin more available to you guys. So you can now find our ongoing ReinerStop TV episodes right on our website. Easiest place to find them right now is reinerstop.com/TV. And we will, moving forward, list every single episode there. So both parts of Robin's episodes are already live. I was a busy little bee while we were working and talking today. So if you guys want to see part 1 or part 2 in their full, you can go there, and you can also find previous and upcoming episodes that will be there as well, reinerstop.com/TV. And on that page, you can also enter your phone number or email address. We want to make sure that if you want to see and know about upcoming content, that you're getting notified. We do these episodes every single week. And then of course we have other things like ReinerStop Showtime that'll come throughout the year. So to make sure you don't miss one, just drop us your email or drop us your phone number, whatever you prefer. We've got a ReinerStop nation of 60+ strong, and we would love for you guys to be a part of it, those that were tuning in today. So again, Robin, thank you so much for being with us. Sheley, any last comments before we hop off?
No, I mean, what a great day. What a great week. What a great show. What a great year.
It has been.
And I mean, Chelsea, we're just getting started, right? We have done a lot in under 6 months, and holy cow, 2022 is going to be fantastic. Make sure we'll also Chelsea will throw, not we. She knows our text messaging number. You can text ReinerStop to this number. It's the easiest way for us to contact you. Trust me, it's only when we're going live. So it's like, we're going live, come join us, join the conversation, learn, share with others. So I just want to thank you guys for coming along this journey with us. And we hope you have a great rest of your day.
Yes, I'll drop you that phone number really quick. So if you guys want to text us right now, you can just text ReinerStop to 844-954-4512. That'll get you in that list. You can also drop it right on our website, ReinerStop.com. Both will put you in the same list and we'll keep you notified. You're going to hear from Sheley and I once or twice before the end of the year. So this isn't the last you'll see of us. We'll keep you updated. I'm also going to, I have a few more ReinerStop I have a few more ReinerStop stickers that I want to get in the hands of some people. So we're going to look at our viewers and commenters from today, and I'm going to pull some names. We'll send you some direct messages, and we want to send you guys some ReinerStop swag as a, Merry Christmas from us to you. So Robin, thank you again.